So what I'm going to be talking about today is web components. I know that the title of the talk is book, the book tag, and returning authorship to the web. The way that we're going to do that in the coming years is through a technology called web components. It's a W3 technology that's being pioneered by Google and Mozilla, and you should be seeing it in browsers very soon. Let's talk a little bit about what web components are and how they're going to help you guys as content authors and publishers. So in the beginning, there was the web. Right? The web was basic. At first, it was just about information sharing. It was about documents, links, very simple stuff, textual tags, tables, nothing too hard to comprehend for almost anyone. You didn't require a lot of programming knowledge to be able to get involved in the web. To do so, you only needed to understand what your content was and know a few simple tags to be able to mark up your stuff. It led to some pretty interesting things, like GeoCities and 4chan, some good stuff to start out. It was pretty simple, though, and that was a democratized experience because of its simplicity. There wasn't the rich interaction you see today, and that actually created an even playing field. So Joe Blow down the street, who doesn't understand programming, had about the same footing as far as being able to express himself as the web developers that are common to all the great companies and app frameworks out there today. So it was basically an information viewer. That's changed. The last few years have given way to a rich web that is a platform for apps and rich experiences across many devices and form factors. That's messed with our model a bit, right? We started out declarative. We started out in a realm that was easy for anyone to understand. And what we've moved towards is something that is really for programmers. What was once about authorship is now biased towards individuals with high technical ability. Now, that's not the mission of Mozilla. The mission of Mozilla is to make the web not only accessible for all people, for readers, but for writers as well. And that's what we have to do. We have to return authorship to the web. And I'm going to discuss a little bit about how web components can do this. Web components are a technology that allow you to create your own HTML tags, custom tags that are parsed directly with your other content on the page. So if you wanted to create a tag, for instance, like a book tag, you could totally do that. It's all semantic markup, follows area roles, so you can still do all your speech to text and anything you need for accessibility. But it's something that the browser understands from a fundamental level. Today, Firefox is working on a patch to land the first part of custom elements, or the first part of web components, a technology we call custom elements. I've been working closely with Dmitry Glaskov at Google. We are going to be rolling out the 4 constituent technologies that make up the web components spec: custom elements, shadow DOM, templates, and decorators. Now, I'm not going to go into the technical aspects of any of these. I'll discuss briefly what they mean to you. For publishers, custom tags are the gateway to making the browser understand what you want it to. So if you were to create a book tag, you can actually have the browser understand the look and feel of a book. You could have it responsively morph itself for any form factor or device. You could have internal page content that actually felt like a page. And you could do all this declaratively. We're working on a system of tags for Firefox OS, our main initiative to free the native stack from current mobile devices, of default tags. We want to bring the web tags so that anyone can get involved in these rich experiences. So that to create awesome stuff like this book tag that I'm just, a simple tag that flips pages, it's just a tag. If I show you the source, it's going to say book. There's going to be pages inside. That's pretty easy to grok and understand, even if you have zero technical ability. Anyone can lay out their content in a rich way. What we hope to do at Mozilla over the course of the next 18 months to 2 years is build out a system of custom components in combination with other efforts from Google, all standard, that enable you to create declarative experiences with zero knowledge. You should be able to create anything your mind can conceive as a noun. And that's essentially what we're doing. We're bringing the nouns that you have and see and relate to in your daily life into tags in the browser. Up until now, HTML5 has been a series of JS APIs, things that require high technical skill. We've introduced a few tags here and there, section, aside, stuff that does have meaningful markup for publishers, but largely doesn't do a lot. It's not very active. It's not active content. It's not a video. We have a few of those tags, but we need more. We need stuff that is compelling, that dictates experience, that gives people the thing that they expect from apps. and does it in a publishing environment. So why do I say it democratizes rich content? Well, it's easy to see that if you had tags that were able to express anything you wanted as a publisher without much effort, that would be a democratized experience. That would be an experience that let you, despite your technical inabilities or just not understanding exactly what you're doing, to be able to take a formula of, hey, I understand that now. I understand what a book is. I can do that. I can write in that. That's what we want to bring it down to. Mozilla will be launching things like map, slide boxes, slideshows, all this sort of stuff that you understand fundamentally as a noun, and that's all you need to understand. It's really the greatest advancement to this markup language in the last decade and a half. That's my put anyway. We've been stuck with WIM forms from Windows 95 for a long time. Text inputs, text areas, stuff that you've used day in and day out. It's time to move forward. And the greatest thing about custom elements is they're available today in your browser. It doesn't require an extension. It's going to be a standard. You can author your own custom elements. They are shareable on the web as modules. That's the future that we see and that we want to help bring to the present. So you can actually use the future today. It's pretty cool what we can do in the browser today, right now. At Mozilla, we created a Polyfill. That's something, for anyone who doesn't know, it brings the abilities of future APIs to the web that you know today on browsers that are on devices that are already in the hands of users. This Polyfill X tag brings the custom element portion of web components to Chrome 4 and above, Firefox 5 and above, IE 9 and above, Android 2.1 browser and above, BlackBerry 10.0 and above, and all iPhones down to iOS 4, which is essentially 97% of iPhones. It's available today. You can create your own custom elements today. If that fits in other formats that you guys traditionally use as publishers, that's awesome. There's no instantiation code. There's no boilerplate. There's no jQuery. There's no selecting in the DOM or understanding programming. There is writing and authorship, and that's what it should be about. Mozilla is pushing this declarative envelope because we see it as the frontier of the web. We see it as returning power to the hands of you guys, of users, of developers, and of casual folks who just want to express themselves. And I think it's one of the best endeavors we have right now at the company, and I'm fully invested. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and at this time, I'm willing to take some questions. Does anyone have anything they'd like to hear about? Show source? Okay. How would you double-click on a Mac?
Just all the way up, the menu bar's there.
Oh. Where? Oh. Yeah, see, I'm a Windows user. This is really tough. Page info. Where is it? I feel like. Okay. I feel like an idiot. I never use it. Where? Okay, I thought so. Okay. Oh my God, that was so hard. Steve Jobs, you intuitive guy, you. All right, so this is giving you a little bit of an idea of what it is. Books and pages, all that flipping, everything I did, that's baked into the tag. You don't have to do anything. You write what you want to write. I have another demo on this computer that was pretty cool, where to have a map like Google Maps or things that you're used to seeing on awesome apps that you use, one tag, the map tag. What if you could do that? What if you could embed that in books and you didn't have to know anything to do it? And it was completely standard and you could create anything you want. That's the web we need. That's the web we need to return to because that actually democratizes the experience for every single person today. Any other questions about any of the technology? Yeah? Okay, so one really awesome thing about this not just being a hack, when the patch lands in Firefox, these elements are real elements. The browser recognizes them as such. So an awesome thing you're going to be able to do is to create publishing environments where content authors can create things easily. As soon as you drag and drop like a tag into a page, it immediately inflates. Just like you would expect a tag like an input tag, right? Where you're typing your credit card information or whatever. You drop that tag in, it turns into an area where you can type text, it has key events on it, all that stuff. We don't think about it, right? We don't think in depth about what things are actually happening. I mean, even a link tag is actually a web component, right? It has a native action that when you click on it, it opens that web page. These behave exactly like that. So you could drop a book tag in and it instantly appears. There's no code, there's no JS to run, it's done. So what I'm getting to is you can create an authoring tool where you have like maybe a sidebar and you say, hey, I want to drag in a map. And all it does is place a map tag in source and it's there, right? I want to put a video in. Anything that you can think of as a noun, you can just drag into a page and create your own book. I hope that that's what happens. We're going to be doing that with Firefox DevTools, where you're going to actually be able to inspect what tags are on pages, what custom elements are there, manipulate on the fly how they express themselves. So maybe if you want your pages of your book to turn and look like triangles, you can actually edit that as a web developer in source, and it'll have immediate effects in the DOM. So it'll transform whatever you're viewing without doing anything. You just change the source of the one element. So this is the stuff it offers. I think it's going to be a new frontier for development, and it's going to change perceptions and models. Currently, we have lots of stuff like Backbone and all these attempts at doing stuff that the browser just wasn't very good at. Now we're giving you it as a first-class citizen. Is there any other questions about the technology? Yes?
Can you go over shadow elements?
Shadow DOM. So how technical is everyone here? I mean, are we? You're good? Okay. So shadow. What we're introducing first with custom elements is not. It doesn't have shadow DOM with it. Custom elements are just the ability to say, hey, I want the browser to recognize this element. I want to be able to do some stuff with it. I want it to be better than just a regular div. What shadow DOM is the ability to say, yeah, not only am I going to define my custom element, but I want some helper elements inside that custom element. I want some stuff that I can see and I can use and manipulate as a developer to present the experience that I want, but I don't want the end user or the developer that may look at the page to have to worry about it. So this means when you view source, your shadow DOM elements don't actually appear in source. So you would see if I had like a table of contents shadow DOM element for the book tag, right? Maybe I want that to be a shadow DOM element because I want to assemble the table of contents dynamically. So you as the reader and the developer downstream don't have to worry about it. It just makes itself. You don't have to actually see that. You can select it in developer tools, but when you view source, it's like it's not there. It's very helpful for encapsulating all the stuff that you want into your tag without leaking out things that could potentially be errantly selected by CSS and kind of mess up the display. Is that a good explanation, or do you want I can go into it further? Okay. Any other questions about the technology, where we're going with Mozilla, how this maybe applies to Firefox OS? Okay. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. How do you? Touch input. Okay, great. Touch input. So, obviously we have touch events in the browser right now. The Polyfill that we're offering, it's called Xtag. It's available on GitHub. You can go there today. It is 8K compressed and does all the wonderful stuff with custom elements that I talked about. It has the ability to kind of unify click and touch events. That's something it offers. That is still your kind of deal as a programmer. So whatever you want to create your custom element as, you can have script that's actually part of the custom element. It's scoped to that element, and inside that script, any reference you make is to the element, so you can add touch events and click events. We do a little bit in our Polyfill. There's a little library that goes with it that helps you with those things. So if you want to create components, custom elements that work from the start in mobile environments that are only touch and on traditional devices like desktop, it makes it really easy. So you don't have to write 25 events, you write one, and it actually unifies it. That's all kind of up to you, though, as a developer, wherever you want to go. Anyone else? Okay. Great. Thank you for your time.